Up next, a Colorado man dies in a crash in Becker County. And more cases of the new COVID-19 variant are emerging across the globe. Plus, one company is helping small businesses in Minnesota compete against Amazon for online shoppers. Valley News Live at 10 starts now.
This is Valley News Live at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Early this morning, a 39-year-old Colorado man died in Becker County. Authorities say the accident happened just before 6 a.m. near Highway 34 and Old Mill Road in Carsonville Township, which is about 30 minutes north of Perham. The driver was traveling on Highway 34 when his vehicle left the road and then flipped into the air before rolling. The Minnesota State Patrol says the man was not wearing a seatbelt at the time of the crash. So far, there have been no recorded cases of the new COVID-19 variant in the U.S. In a release yesterday, the CDC said they have yet to identify an American case of the Omicron variant. The CDC also says they are continuously monitoring variants, and they expect that if this new variant emerges in the U.S., it will be identified quickly. The new strain was first detected in South Africa, where it is currently surging. As a precaution, President Joe Biden is restricting travel from non-U.S. citizens from South Africa and 7 other countries in the region starting on Monday. And at least 2 cases of the new Omicron variant has been identified in Britain. Today, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson spoke on the possibility of the variant's contagiousness.
As always with a new variant, there are many things that we just cannot know at this early stage. But our scientists are learning more hour by hour. And it does appear that Omicron spreads very rapidly and can be spread between people who are double vaccinated.
Britain has also already banned flights from South Africa and its neighboring countries. According to Dutch health officials, at least 61 cases of coronavirus were detected among passengers who flew in from South Africa. The cases were found among passengers from 2 flights that arrived at an airport in Amsterdam. This was before the Dutch government shut down air travel for Southern Africa due to concerns of the new COVID-19 strain. Health officials are administering further tests to see if those who tested positive have the new variant. And travelers are now scrambling to get back home from South Africa as some countries are imposing restrictions from the region due to the new COVID-19 strain. Travelers at Johannesburg's O.R. Tambo International Airport were trying to make it back to their countries before the travel bans took place. The U.S. travel restrictions will not apply to American citizens or those who have a green card, but they will need to show a negative COVID test before returning to the States. Today marks the 12th year of Small Business Saturday, and one company is helping small businesses in Minnesota compete against Amazon as online retail shopping becomes more of the future.
For a lot of families, Black Friday has long been a bargain hunting tradition. The convenience of online shopping, though, could make it extinct.
As we continue to morph as shoppers from digital and physical shopping, I think the standing in line for those big ticket items is probably a thing of the past.
Add in the pandemic, and Ann Mazenga's business model had to mimic the master of online retail.
In order for any retailer to compete right now, you have to be looking at Amazon. And that's not a fair playing field for local brands. They don't have the resources to do that.
She just launched the Urban Rooster Shop, a one-stop site featuring only Minnesota businesses and up to 50,000 products you can buy year-round and have delivered right to your door.
And this is where we're using technology for good so that we can make small businesses flourish without putting the impact on the small businesses.
Last year's outpouring of support for small businesses is starting to dwindle, and staffing shortages this year has a majority of owners saying this season will impact whether they can stay open next year, according to a new American Express survey. What is the best way that people can support small businesses?
There are a lot of ways that you can support small businesses. Send them a Google review. Post something on your Facebook or Instagram or other social media accounts. Go into your local stores. Tell other people about a store experience that you had.
And with the holiday shopping season well underway, some states are seeing shoppers come out in droves on Small Business Saturday. According to the Small Business Administration, there are more than 32 million small businesses in the United States, and more than half of all Americans workers either own a small business or are employed by one. According to the White House, last year, Small Business Saturday hit a record high in sales with an estimated $19.8 billion reported in spending. This year, holiday spending is expected to break new records. Black Friday brought in a lot of green for retailers this year, according to MasterCard Spending Pulse. Online sales were up more than 10%. Now, that may not sound like much, but last year, many people did their shopping online as shoppers decided to stay away from large crowds because of the pandemic. In-store sales are also up big by nearly 43% over last year. It's calm now outside this Minneapolis Best Buy, but that wasn't the case last night. 2 Best Buys fell victim to major thefts. At least 10 people struck a store in Maplewood, stealing items and fleeing before authorities arrived. An even larger group hit another store in Burnsville, where many electronics were taken. So far, no arrests have been made at either location. Authorities are still working to learn if both robberies were related. Christmas is less than a month away, and people are getting ready to celebrate. Valley News Team's Alex Larson visited Ring Family Tree Farm as many stopped by to pick out the perfect Christmas tree.
Like a good size. Like you don't want a small one.
It has to be big.
At Ring Family Farms in Thompson, people came out to carry on their family traditions or start a new one.
When our boys were young, we always went and cut down our own tree. It was the tradition of getting up and going out, finding the perfect tree and bringing it home and doing it as a family.
Some say the real trees get them in the holiday spirit.
It's nice just sitting by a real Christmas tree. The smell of it, when you sit down and have hot cocoa, it just makes you feel really warm inside, and it's kind of has the best Christmas feeling.
Overall, just the joy of having a real tree versus a fake one, that you throw in a box every year. You tend not to care about it as much, and this is what it gives the kids experience.
Ring Family Farms has been selling trees for the last 4 years and opened for this year last week. So far, the trees have been selling fast.
We would go cut our own tree down as a family.
Yep.
And the place we went to ran out of trees and we're done.
Yes.
So we always wanted to start one. So then we kind of said, hey, right, guys?
Yep. Let's find a farm and let's start
our own Christmas tree farm.
Farm,
We planted
and
a bunch of trees. And
Yep.
If you're looking to switch over to a real tree, there are some things you should know.
When the tree is originally cut down, it puts a sap plug in there so water can't come up. So make sure you take an inch and a half up, get it in water, have water in it for the first 2 weeks. Don't let it go dry. Make sure there's water in it.
If you don't water it, you might not have a tree by Christmas. Alex Larson, Valley News Live.
Later on Valley News Live at 10, Santa is back to spreading joy this holiday season. But up next, Summer has more on your weather for this upcoming week.